Ladies and gentlemen, this is the special meeting of the Board of Directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy, May 24th, 2018. 9 p.m., more or less open session. Meeting location, Oxford Preparatory Academy, South Orange County Campus, 23000 via Santa Maria, Mission Viejo, California. Teleconference location, Oxford Preparatory Academy, Saddleback Valley Campus, 22882, Lumont Drive, Lake Forest, California, 92630. The public, including public attending the teleconference location, are invited to attend the board regarding items listed on the agenda. Comments on an agenda item will be accepted during consideration of that item or prior to consideration of the item in the case of a closed session item. Please turn in comment cards to the board secretary prior to the item you wish to speak on. Preliminary call to order, roll call. Mr. Jackson, Chair, Vice Chair, present. Priscilla Trichet, Secretary.
Present.
Joshua Teeple, Treasurer.
Present.
Mary Campos, Member. Absent. Joseph Haney, Chairman. Present. Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Face the flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beautiful. Let's move on to item 3, approval of agenda for special board meeting for May 24th, 2018.
I move to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This motion is passed. Second part, open session. A, discussion, information, action. Item 1, recommendation to approve management liability insurance and supplemental coverage. The board is required to approve any expenditures that exceed $25,000. The management liability insurance and supplemental coverage effective June 1, 2018 is brought to the board for consideration. Item 1A, or item 2A1, recommend the board of directors approve management liability insurance and supplemental coverage with Access Insurance Company for a period of 14 months with a monthly premium of $3,218 per month. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Second. Is there any discussion on the insurance?
Nope.
Mr. Diaz? This is
I was just going to mention that this particular motion does have a matrix, and it includes both proposals. The one coming from, now I'm talking out of memory.
I'm not seeing puppies in the matrix.
Let me, give me 1 second, sorry. We actually have 2 proposals, one from, here it is, thank you very much. Oh, gee.
We have Aon and,
Chubb and Access. There's 3.
Well, Aon is the broker, but it's
Okay.
actually from
Chubb and
Access and
Access.
Chubb, exactly. And I'm sorry for this being so small. It's actually, you can see it on page 2 of this presentation, and it's this slide right here.
beautiful.
And basically what, there's 2 different options for each one. The very first column, you actually have our current policy as it stands, and then the different proposals between Chubb and Access. And the one that we're proposing is Access, and the reason why we are doing, I believe it's 14 months, the one that we're submitting the approval, is so it aligns with our current policies. So, thank you. So basically, it's to actually, that's why we're not doing the regular 12 months, but we're extending it just so it aligns in with the other policies. And when it becomes due, it will align, and all of them are going to be renewed at the same time. And you don't have to see this twice.
Okay.
And the difference between one and the other is the coverage. One of them has the coverage of $100,000, and this one, the one that we're selecting, is $1 million. And that's the reason why, for a little bit more in the premium, we're actually getting a big bump on the coverage. Oh, yes, of course. That will definitely make our authorizers happy.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
No.
The motion on the floor is to approve management liability insurance and supplemental coverage with Access Insurance Company for a period of 14 months with a monthly premium of $3,218 per month. All those in favor, we have to do a roll call since it's.
Yes, you do.
All right. Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Ms. Trichet.
Yes.
Mr. Teeple?
Yes.
And Mr. Haney, yes. This motion passes unanimously. Item 2, recommendation to approve revised Kyocera contract. The board is required to approve any expenditures that exceed $25,000. The revised Kyocera contract for printers and copiers, which is a reduction from the current contract, is brought to the board for consideration. Before we make a motion, Mr. Diaz, can you give us some background on that?
Yes, so Kyocera are the printers and copy machines that we have in both in the schools and also our office. And what we're doing is actually, what we're doing is there's several of those printers are actually in storage. So what we want to do is we want to send them back from storage instead of paying this monthly fee that we have been incurring, and of course replace that with also a copy machine. I'm sorry, that is going to be shared by the teachers instead of having color printers for every single teacher. So we're actually going to have some savings of $1,000 per month, roughly, and we won't incur those hefty fees in toner expenses as, of course, with the usage of these very nice printers, but I think it's a little bit of an overkill.
So this document here, see this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, that's correct.
This has two options, right? It says, which one of these are we currently paying here?
This is what we're currently paying.
Well,
This is what we're currently-
it says that there's two options. This is
So the
comparative.
new configuration
Mhm.
is on the right-hand side, that's what they're proposing. And so on the left-hand side, I apologize, I didn't understand the question until I was looking right at it. We're currently paying $20,000, over $20,000
Mhm.
for copy costs.
Yeah,
each
and you're
month.
gonna drop it down to six,
We're-
what?
If we stay within our copy
Budget,
budget,
right?
we will drop it down to
16,521.
right. However, yes, thank you, because this takes us down to, I took off my glasses. so now I can't see.
16,521.
Thank you, 16,521, because I asked for fewer color copies.
Okay.
We asked for fewer color
Okay,
copies.
so that's why it says it includes 285. This contract says 250.
Mm-hmm.
And 116 color, this says 60. What I'm interested to understand is how we roughly halved the amount of copiers and we're only saving $1,000. Like, help me resolve that.
It doesn't actually half the amount of copiers.
Well, we were at 15 7551s and then we dropped to 8.
I can take a guess that a lot of it has to do with volume. There's a volume charge on the number of copies. That's probably not gonna go down that much.
Well, but the old contract, there's a copy of that in here, and they were only at 5 cents for overage, but the numbers were higher.
I'm not talking,
Huh?
but the base number of copies is still gonna be about the same. So that's not gonna change.
Oh, the images, the
Yeah.
number of
Yeah.
images.
Yeah.
So they don't care if you have one printer,
Right.
if it's doing 250,000 a month.
Right.
And is that
That's
number
my guess.
legitimate? That's a legitimate number, we do 250,000 a month?
I would
A
think so.
copy, okay.
Or would be more, the way this.
Thanks, Josh, I appreciate that.
I
I
lease the
appreciate it too,
copiers.
thank you.
Got it.
But the end result is we're saving several $1,000s per month.
It's actually not several, it's just $1,000.
$1,000. Okay.
Well, no, I think it goes from 19,117 to 16,521, so that's the several.
If
Good.
we stay within our,
Are we not gonna stay within the budget?
well, that's the plan. The plan is to stay within the budget, and we'll have to put some things in place to ensure that that happens. So, for instance,
Make
we've
Mr.
never
Bond
had
enforce it.
codes. Our teachers have never had to input codes. We'll have to limit the number of color copies that our staff makes. We'll have
Mhm.
to really ask people to think before they print things. And Kyocera will come out and do a training with staff to help them understand the processes that we'll have to put in place to ensure that we do have a savings and we're able to stay at that 16,000 point.
Okay.
Copiers are kind of a nightmare, sorry.
So the motion on the floor is to approve the revised Kyocera contract for $16,521.30 per month. Oh,
I'll move
sorry.
to do that.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, so the motion is to approve the contract 16,521.30 per month for 63 months. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? This motion passes. Now we get to the point that you were all really waiting for, especially Mr. Teeple, who's packed up neatly.
Ready to go.
Item 3, adjournment. Recommend the Board of Directors adjourn the board meeting for May 24th, 2018. Do I have a motion?
I move to do that.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Release the
opposed?
record.
4-0.